All right, so let's dive into affordable living abroad.
Okay.
It's been on a lot of people's minds lately. We've got this Forbes article, Quit Your Job and Live Abroad, 11 places, so affordable you might not need to work.
Right.
And it's really sparked a conversation.
It really has. Yeah. And I think the timing is interesting.
Yeah.
Right after a major U.S. election.
Exactly.
There's this feeling of maybe it's time to explore other options, of other ways of life.
Exactly. So this isn't about finding like a cheap vacation spot. This is about maybe reshaping your whole life.
Yeah.
And this article goes beyond just listing cheap countries. It actually dives into specific regions' costs and even the vibe of each place.
I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
Because, you can find a place that's affordable.
Right.
But if it doesn't align with your lifestyle, it's not going to be a good fit.
Yeah, and it acknowledges the potential downsides, too.
Yes.
Like the impact of tons of expats on local communities.
That's right.
So it's a reminder that responsible travel is key when considering a move like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the article breaks these affordable havens into two categories. Most affordable places to live and up-and-coming retirement havens.
Okay.
Let's start with the most affordable.
Right.
Colombia is at the top of the list.
Interesting.
We've all heard about Medellin's transformation, but what makes Colombia particularly appealing to North Americans seeking a new life abroad?
Well, Colombia offers this incredible combination of affordability and sophistication. Think vibrant cities like Medellin, where you can find 2-bedroom apartments starting at $800 a month.
Wow.
With perfect weather.
That's less than my shoebox studio.
And a cosmopolitan vibe.
Wow.
And it's not just city life.
Right.
The article also highlights the coffee triangle.
Okay.
With places like Pereira and Manizales offering a more tranquil escape.
Yeah.
Then there's Cartagena for that classic Caribbean beach experience.
And for couples, the article says you can live comfortably in Colombia for around $1,500 a month.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Including rent, utilities, and even dining out.
It is.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Vietnam.
Okay.
Which the article claims has unmatched affordability. And I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Are we really talking $3 street food and $300 a month apartments?
It does sound almost too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
But from what I've read, Vietnam's affordability is rooted in its history and economic policies.
Interesting.
They've managed to maintain a low cost of living while still developing modern infrastructure.
Yeah.
Which makes it a really attractive option for expats, especially those on a budget.
So not just cheap, but a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The article highlights Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City for the urban explorers.
Yeah.
And Da Nang and Hoi An for the beach lovers. Plus, a couple can live well in Vietnam on just $1,200 a month.
It's definitely possible.
Maybe this is real life.
And for those who crave that tropical paradise vibe, we have Bali.
Oh, yeah.
This one's a classic for a reason.
I mean, who hasn't dreamed of escaping to Bali?
Right.
But can you really afford to live there long term?
Well, the article suggests it's surprisingly affordable.
Okay.
Especially if you're willing to venture outside the tourist hotspots.
Yeah.
They mentioned 1-bedroom villas near the beach going for around $1,325 a month, including utilities and housekeeping.
Wow.
That's almost unheard of in most popular beach destinations.
Okay, that's tempting. The article also talks about Seminyak for those who want a luxurious beach scene.
Right.
Abud for the yoga and spiritual retreats.
Yeah.
And quieter villages like Canggu for a more laid-back experience. So Bali really does seem to offer something for everyone.
It does.
And if you're a foodie, Thailand is calling.
Oh, yeah?
The article raves about $4 plates of fresh seafood on the beach.
Wow.
And access to world-class healthcare at a fraction of the cost in the U.S. That's a big draw for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially as they get older.
They highlight Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket as expat hotspots.
Right.
Bangkok for the city buzz.
Yes.
Chiang Mai for the cooler mountain climate. And Phuket for the classic Thai beaches and islands. I've heard you can get a luxury condo in Phuket for just $600 a month.
Really?
And don't even get me started on the food.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible meals for under $25.
Wow.
No wonder Thailand is so popular with expats.
It's a winning combination, isn't it?
It is.
Affordability, delicious food, and stunning scenery.
It really is.
Now, the last destination in the most affordable category is Malaysia.
Okay.
The article describes Malaysia as a blend of modernity and value.
You've got the soaring skyscrapers of Kuala Lumpur.
Yes.
The beautiful beaches of Penang, and the tranquil nature of Ipoh.
Right.
What struck you about Malaysia from an expat perspective?
I think Malaysia is a great option for those who want that cosmopolitan experience without the sky-high costs of living.
Yeah.
They mentioned 3-bedroom apartments in Kuala Lumpur going for $600 to $1,200 a month.
Wow.
And the street food scene is incredible.
Okay.
With meals for as little as $2.
It seems like you get a lot of bang for your buck in Malaysia.
You do.
And couples can live comfortably on around $1,500 a month.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Which is pretty impressive.
Mm.
So we've covered the most affordable list, but what about those up-and-coming retirement havens?
Okay.
First on that list is Panama's Azuero Peninsula,
All right.
which they call a best-kept secret.
Interesting.
I'm picturing deserted beaches, charming villages, maybe even spotting a few whales migrating offshore.
It sounds idyllic.
What piqued your interest about this hidden gem?
Well, it's that emphasis on a slower pace of life.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about pristine beaches, a sense of discovery, a really authentic experience.
Yeah.
The Azuero Peninsula seems perfect for those seeking a retreat from the hustle and bustle.
It does sound idyllic.
Yeah.
The article suggests checking out Padasi for its expat-friendly atmosphere and Chatre for a more authentic Panamanian cultural experience.
Right.
And the best part,
The affordability, of course.
of course.
Rental homes start at $600 a month.
Wow.
And beach property is still relatively affordable, which is rare these days.
Yeah.
Seems like Panama offers a lot of value for those looking to escape the rat race and embrace a more relaxed lifestyle.
Okay, next up is Green Spain.
Okay.
A region the article claims is untouched by mass tourism, rolling hills, fishing villages, and a cost of living that allows you to enjoy life to the fullest.
It does sound appealing.
Sounds like a dream come true for those seeking a more authentic European experience.
Yeah.
What makes Green Spain stand out from, say, the more popular and expensive coastal areas of Spain?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
While much of coastal Spain has become incredibly popular with tourists,
Yeah.
Green Spain has managed to retain its authentic charm and affordability. The article recommends Galicia, Asturias, and Cantabria for nature lovers, and San Sebastian and Bilbao for those who prefer city life with incredible food.
Right.
And the cost of living is surprisingly reasonable.
Yeah, they mentioned that a couple can live comfortably in Green Spain on around $1,500 a month.
Yeah, that's less than many people spend in a big city.
I'm already picturing myself wandering through those charming villages, enjoying fresh seafood by the harbor.
And don't forget the incredible hiking trails and stunning natural beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Green Spain seems like a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts and those seeking a slower pace of life.
Okay, I'm sold. Green Spain is officially on my list.
Great.
Now let's move on to another hidden gem on the Adriatic coast, coastal Montenegro. The article describes it as stunningly beautiful, affordable, and rich in history. And apparently it's often overlooked in favor of its more famous neighbor, Croatia.
That's right. Montenegro offers a similar Adriatic experience to Croatia.
Okay.
But without the crowds and inflated prices.
Right.
They've got these incredible fjord-like bays, ancient fortresses, and charming coastal towns.
I'm picturing myself sailing through those crystal clear waters, exploring ancient ruins, and enjoying fresh seafood by the water.
It's a beautiful country.
The article mentioned that you can have a delicious seafood meal for just $10 in Montenegro.
Wow.
That's practically unheard of in most coastal European destinations.
It really does sound like a hidden gem, doesn't it?
It does.
They recommend Tivat and Kotor for those who love being by the sea.
Yeah.
And Bar is a quieter option with even lower prices.
Okay.
And the cost of living is incredibly reasonable.
Yeah, they mentioned seaside rentals starting at $450 a month.
Wow.
And couples' monthly expenses averaging around $1,800.
That's amazing.
That's less than what many people spend on rent alone in a major city.
It is.
All right, from the stunning Adriatic, let's hop over to Portugal, specifically northern Portugal.
Okay.
The article describes it as a region where you can experience authentic Portuguese culture without the tourist crowds.
I love that they highlight the affordability of northern Portugal.
Yeah.
Especially since there's been a lot of talk about rising prices in Lisbon and the Algarve.
Yeah.
It seems like this region has managed to retain its charm and value.
It's like stepping back in time, in a good way.
It is.
They suggest Caminha for its medieval charm, Sposende for its seaside beauty,
Yeah.
and Viana do Castelo for a mix of urban and small-town vibes.
Right.
And get this, a couple can live well in northern Portugal on $2,000 a month or less.
That's incredible.
That's incredibly affordable, especially considering the quality of life you can have there.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, for those seeking a nature-filled escape, the article recommends the southern zone of Costa Rica.
Okay.
Lush mountains, a warm community feel, and surprisingly affordable living. It seems like a dream come true for outdoor enthusiasts.
It does. I've always thought of Costa Rica as a bit pricey, but the article claims that the southern zone is still relatively affordable, especially if you're willing to live a bit off the beaten path.
Yeah.
They suggest San Isidro del General for a cooler mountain climate, and Dominical and Ojocal for beach living with thriving expat communities.
Right.
And they even mention that the southern zone has become a bit of a foodie haven with surprisingly sophisticated restaurants.
That's a nice bonus.
It is.
And with furnished rentals starting at $700 a month, it seems like you can live comfortably surrounded by nature without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
Now, the last destination on our list is the Peloponnese region of Greece.
Okay.
Ancient villages, stunning beaches, and all just a short drive from Athens.
Yeah.
This one really caught my eye.
Mine too. I've always been fascinated by Greece, but I thought it would be out of reach financially.
Yeah.
But the article makes it sound surprisingly affordable.
What's interesting is that they emphasize the convenience of being on the mainland.
Right.
This makes it easier to travel to other parts of Greece and Europe.
Yeah.
And you can stay year-round without the seasonal limitations of some islands. Plus, the Peloponnese seems to offer a more authentic Greek experience than some of the more touristy islands.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They recommend Nafplio for its Venetian architecture,
Yeah.
Kalamata as a bustling city near beautiful beaches,
Right.
and the Mani Peninsula for a quieter, more traditional Greek village experience.
Okay.
And the cost of living is surprisingly affordable.
They mentioned rentals ranging from $320 to $750 a month, depending on the location.
Wow.
You could be living the Mediterranean dream for less than you might think.
That's incredible. So many amazing options.
It is.
I'm already feeling inspired to pack my bags.
Me too. It's amazing to see how many affordable and incredible places there are to live around the world.
It is.
And each one offers a unique experience, from bustling cities to tranquil villages, from stunning beaches to lush mountains.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really does make you realize that there's so many different ways to live a fulfilling life.
It does. Okay, before we get too carried away with daydreams of island hopping and mountain trekking,
Right.
let's take a step back.
And consider the bigger picture.
Okay.
What are some recurring themes you've noticed in these affordable destinations?
Well, what's fascinating is that these places manage to offer both affordability and high quality of life. Stunning natural beauty, rich cultural experiences, delicious food, and modern amenities, all without the hefty price tags we often associate with those things in, say, North America or Western Europe.
It's like they found a different balance.
Yeah.
A different way to prioritize what's important.
I think so.
But I imagine it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Of course not.
What are some things potential expats should consider before taking the leap?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's crucial to go beyond the initial excitement and do your due diligence. Choosing a location based solely on cost of living would be a mistake.
Right.
Think about your personal values and lifestyle preferences.
Okay.
Do you thrive in bustling cities or tranquil villages?
Yeah.
Do you need easy access to nature or a vibrant art scene? So it's about finding the right fit, not just chasing the cheapest option.
Exactly. And don't just focus on the initial costs.
Okay.
Research visa requirements.
Right.
Healthcare access is another crucial factor. How easy is it to navigate the healthcare system? Can you get adequate insurance?
Yeah.
And then there's the cultural integration aspect.
Right.
Are you prepared to learn a new language, adapt to new customs, and build a new community?
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's about making a sustainable move, not just a temporary escape.
Precisely. Moving abroad is a big decision, and it requires careful planning and consideration. But the rewards can be immense.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up every day to stunning views, experiencing new cultures, and living a life that feels more aligned with your values.
It's a chance to break free from the routine,
Yeah,
step outside your comfort zone, and embrace a new adventure.
exactly.
Okay, so we've explored these amazing destinations, considered the pros and cons, and talked about the importance of responsible and informed decision-making.
Right.
But let's be honest. Part of the allure of living abroad is the fantasy.
Yeah,
The what if.
the dream.
What if we could escape the daily grind, trade our commutes for beach walks, and replace our takeout dinners with home-cooked feasts using fresh local ingredients?
I think it's important to hold on to that sense of wonder.
Yeah.
It's what fuels our dreams and inspires us to seek new possibilities.
It is. So out of all these incredible places, do you have a personal favorite?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
They all have their unique appeal.
Right.
But if I had to choose, I think I'd be drawn to the Peloponnese in Greece.
Okay.
That blend of ancient history, stunning beaches, and a slower pace of life. It just speaks to my soul.
Yeah.
Plus, the fact that you can find affordable rentals and charming villages near the sea seems like the perfect place to unwind, recharge, and reconnect with what truly matters.
I can picture it now.
Yeah.
Sipping Greek coffee in a sun-drenched courtyard, wandering through ancient ruins, swimming in crystal clear waters.
It sounds idyllic.
It does sound idyllic. But wouldn't you miss all the comforts of home? Sure.
The familiar routines, the friends and family close by.
Of course there would be adjustments. Yeah. Leaving behind the familiar is never easy.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stepping outside our comfort zones, embracing new experiences, and discovering new aspects of ourselves.
You're right. It's about expanding our horizons, challenging our assumptions, and seeing the world with fresh eyes.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe we'll discover that home is not a fixed location, but a state of mind. Maybe it's about finding a place where we feel a sense of belonging, purpose, and connection, regardless of where that place is on the map.
That's a beautiful thought.
Thank you.
And it brings us back to the core of this whole discussion. It's not just about finding a cheap place to live.
Right.
It's about exploring different ways of life, redefining what home means to us, and creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Well said. And I think this article, despite its somewhat clickbaity title, has done a good job of sparking that conversation, of making us question our assumptions and consider new possibilities.
It has. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to get your take on something.
Okay.
The article focuses on the financial aspects of living abroad.
Right.
The affordability, the potential savings, the chance to quit your job and live the dream. But isn't there a risk that this focus on cost could lead to unintended consequences?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
There's a potential for gentrification, as we mentioned earlier.
Right.
When large numbers of people from wealthier countries move to more affordable destinations, it can drive up prices, displace local communities, and erode the very qualities that made those places attractive in the first place.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
It is.
On the one hand, it's exciting to see people embracing new cultures, exploring new ways of life, and finding affordable alternatives to the increasingly expensive lifestyles in many developed countries.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we need to be mindful of the impact our choices have on the places we choose to call home, even temporarily.
I couldn't agree more. Responsible travel, cultural sensitivity, and a commitment to sustainable living. These are crucial considerations for anyone thinking about moving abroad.
They are so. As much as we've been romanticizing these destinations, it's important to remember that they're not just exotic backdrops for our adventures.
Right.
They're real places with real people with their own histories, cultures, and challenges.
And as visitors, temporary or long-term, we have a responsibility to respect those cultures, contribute to those communities in a positive way, and ensure that our presence enhances rather than detracts from the places we choose to live.
Well said. It's a reminder that the most valuable things in life, connection, community, a sense of belonging, these are often found not in material possessions or exotic locations, but in the quality of our relationships and the impact we have on the world around us.
Yeah, it really does come back to that sense of responsibility.
It does. It's about being mindful travelers and not just consumers of experiences.
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of our world and understanding that our actions have ripple effects.
So to bring it back to this Forbes article, it's great that it's inspiring people to consider alternative ways of living, to explore new cultures, and to seek out affordable options.
Right.
But it's also important to remember that there's more to the story than just finding a cheap place to hang your hat.
I agree. It's not just about the economics.
Right.
It's about the human impact.
Yeah.
It's about engaging with these communities in a way that's both respectful and enriching, both for us and for them.
And that requires research,
Absolutely.
self-reflection,
Yeah.
and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions and biases.
It does.
It's about approaching this journey with humility and a genuine desire to learn and grow.
Absolutely. It's about seeing ourselves not as tourists or outsiders, but as potential members of these communities, even if our stay is temporary.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into affordable living abroad, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's this. Living affordably abroad, IS, possible. And it can be an incredibly rewarding experience.
Yeah.
But it requires more than just finding a cheap flight and a place to stay.
Right.
It requires thoughtful planning, thorough research, and a willingness to embrace the unknown, both the challenges and the rewards.
It's about aligning your lifestyle choices with your values, being mindful of your impact, and approaching this journey with an open mind and a sense of adventure.
Well said.
And maybe, just maybe, it's about discovering that home is not just a place, but a feeling, a sense of connection and belonging that can be found anywhere in the world if we're willing to look for it.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I'd like to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
If you could design your ideal life abroad, what would it look like? Where would you go? What would you do? What kind of impact would you want to have on the world around you?
That's a great question to ponder. It's time to start dreaming, folks, and who knows, maybe one day those dreams will become a reality. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into affordable living abroad. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those adventurous spirits alive.